the broken people, put your hands up high. If you lift them up, you might just touch the sky. All the lonely people, put your hands up high. If you loosen up, you might just learn to fly. All the highs and the lows and the way it all goes, you can't let them keep you down. If you're lost, if you're broke, if you're stuck on the road, you can turn it all around. Cause we gotta trust in love, something that can't be touched, a feeling to lift us up, all in the name of love. All the broken people, put your hands up high. If you lift them up, you might just touch the sky. All the lonely people, put your hands up high. If you loosen up, you might just learn to fly. Learn to fly. Learn to fly. Learn to fly.
Put my glasses on, have my educated look.
Learn to fly.
All right. Hey, I'm Brandon. Today we got Positive Stereo. We're talking about music, breaking it down, going into the lyrics, some of the bars, some of the lines to it. Speaking on the things that come from you listening to it. Could play to the subconscious mind, could play to the conscious mind. So we're just going into a few songs, breaking it down, and giving a little interpretation to a little bit of the art and the artist, and just kind of our spin and what we take from it. So we got a few songs today. I think the first one we're gonna run with is Learn to Fly by Surfaces and Elton John. A lot of the songs will have probably a hip hop genre mixed to it, but just as music and vibrations work, we'll cross all boundaries and we'll talk about different music and some of the commonalities in between it. So we'll listen to a little bit of songs as we go, and we'll talk about some of the lines in them. Let's see, so if we could play the Learn to Fly, and then
all the lonely people, put your hands up high. If you loosen up, you might just learn to fly. Learn to fly. Learn to fly. Learn to fly. Learn to fly.
So these first few songs, I think all came out this year in 2020. This one, the first line in it, it says, all the broken people, put your hands up high. And it's one of those things I think about as they write the song, why and what that makes them lead off. But as we're all can be broken or go through different things, there's a certain level of just putting your hands in the sky, whether it's in relief, sacrifice, just sitting back and, evaluating things that we find ourselves in different situations where lots of times we're broken, and what do you do but throw your hands in the sky for one reason or another. So in there they talk about learning to fly, and just the interpretation, how you can take that when you're thinking about being a broken person or going through different things in life, and just being able to fly and elevate and lift yourself through the journey of life and the things that we go through. Also, if it follows that up with, if you loosen up, you might learn to fly. So that's one of those things that sometimes we catch ourselves, maybe keeping it too tight or trying to tighten up too much, to where if we loosen up, and relax and don't necessarily take everything to the extreme of the seriousness or the severity that can come with some of the reality of the situations at hand. If we loosen up, a lot of times we could probably learn to fly. So that may be a key to learning how to fly, is just being relaxed and loose and understanding, how we can go about these things. Also with that one, it said there's there is always something to hold on to in your life. And we all, go through life different ways, and through different things. There's always something to hold on to. No matter what situation we find ourselves into, we may hold on to different things. It may be a good thing, it may be a bad thing, but ultimately that all affects us. So we just be mindful about what we hold on to in those times. And no matter what the time is, no matter how broken we are, just remember there is something to hold on to. It could be like hope. It may be something that you have to search out for that you may not have readily available, but it is out there. So just remember in life, there is always something, to hold on to. And the last line or note out of the lyrics of this song I have is, there's a little section where it says, "'Cause we gotta trust in love, something that can't be touched, a feeling to lift us up, all in the name of love." And that's one of those things that we gotta trust in love, in a lot of different ways. We just have to have trust in love for different peoples, for different reasons. But it is important, and it's something that love is something that can't be touched. So that we're mindful of those things, but it can lift us up, and we do it all in the name of love. That's the whole concept between one love, is having a universal love among all of us. So that's part of the positive stereo, understanding the vibes and the frequencies and how the consciousness works between music and vibrations. We want to speak on these things and bring out the positive that's in these lines that we may not pick up on a regular basis. So hopefully you like that one. 2020 has been a year for all of us, but artists have gave us great art from it. That's part of what artists do for us, and the power of the music and the art is through the struggle they give us something that we can hold on to and use it for the things it can do for us.
As I look at CNN, it says
Last one, Jim Jones, The People.
Protests erupt across America.
Once again,
Following the death of
I'm gonna start this whole positive stereo thing off with songs, from this year. And, it's been a long year, and some of the main topics this year have been the virus and police brutality. And just things are changing. Perceptions are changing. We've got a lot of division. We've got a lot of different things on the table. So like I said in the beginning, a lot of artists are going to work. And they're talking for people. They're expressing things that we can't express the same way. That's their talent. That's their art. So this Jim Jones track is from this year, and he's definitely speaking on the things that have gone on this year. So there's a lot to it, so we'll listen to a little bit, we'll break down, and we'll get into the lyrics.
Tell that motherfucker we already started looting. Sick it any worse, we gon' be ready to start shooting. Solar, Malcolm and Martin. Martin Jr. will be happy to see all the troops that was marching. Look on TV, it feels like the revolution is starting. The same day they let the rockets shoot to the Martians, I seen a Somalian girl with a handful of tear gas. 2020, not even half of the year passed. We've been fighting COVID and everybody gotta wear a mask. Let's all bow our heads, cause we need some more prayers at mass.
La música de Harry Fraud.
I can't breathe though. I feel like I can't breathe though. Get off my neck, I can't breathe though. Mama, I can't breathe though.
All right, there's a little bit of the lyrics, song itself. Let's get into what he's talking about. Obviously, he comes out straight out the gate, CNN lines, talking about George Floyd and the death of George Floyd. One of the lines in there is, "You're more than a legend, you're an icon, you're immortal, we got you." I'm gonna, like I said, this is all my opinion, this is my interpretation on, the art that the artist put out. For the whole George Floyd, or not the whole thing, because we can't even get into the whole thing, but it is unique, it is special, something that happened this year. It changed things. And George Floyd, in a lot of ways, was the tipping point. And I've constantly said, and I'll continue to say, it wasn't just George Floyd that put it over the edge this year. It was Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, and Breonna Taylor, and the combination of the three. But yes, George Floyd, it was a pivotal moment in our society and in this country. And as somebody that is 50-50, half Caucasian, half African, that's my take on it. And so I'm not gonna go too deep into all that. Let's just be mindful of them, rest in peace, and know that there is a lot of work to do on race in this country. He said, Kaepernick took a knee, but I think it's time we take a stand. Hey, let's face it, Kaepernick started the thing, it became a big deal, and years later, the people that went out on the hardest, on the most business front, had to admit their wrongdoings, and he's still punished, and he's still blackballed. So Cap took a knee, but at the same time, we're gonna stand up, we're gonna rise up, we're gonna speak about what's right and what's wrong. And taking a knee, it wasn't him bowing down, it was him speaking with military friends and understanding that's how they paid respect to fallen soldiers. So that's why he decided to take a knee. But that's not gonna be the narrative that's given typically, unfortunately, even though that is the truth, my understanding. With that, next line, he said, we still searching for equal rights. We still searching for equal rights inside this racist land. That all started when Columbus docked here to take the land. Look, it's the truth. We're not treated equal. And that's the fact of the matter. And I have these conversations all the time. It's not the same. So we're still fighting for rights. And it started a long time ago with the history. And that's part of the things, and that's part of what we need to discuss just to elevate and keep ourselves improving from the situations that we've been through. Let's see. A couple more points on this song, and then we'll wrap it up for this take on it. He said in the song, he said, every time we dig our way out, we sink in like a sand trap. We need more than reparations, man. Why can't you understand that? He just said it. Do you hear me now? Every time we dig our way out, we sink in like a sand trap. We need more than reparations, man. Why can't you understand that? It's not about, reparations ain't gonna solve what's done. There's more to that. So a lot of this comes down to just communication and understanding. We're trying to get people to understand and open that communication because of race and how these things have played in history. There are different realities and different understandings depending on how you're raised, who you're raised with, where you're raised, and the people you're raised around. So that's what we're talking about here. And it's all positive vibes. It's all good. We're just keeping it pushing, and we're gonna do what we can do to bridge those gaps and have that communication and speak on the things that need to be spoken on, because closed mouths don't get fed, and you need to speak on these things. Last one, and we'll wrap it up with this one here. In here he said, the president tweeted and said, when the looting starts, his exact quote was, that's when the shooting starts. I'm not going to read into that one too much, but let's just be mindful that times change, politics change, history changes, and we're in a day and age where social media is ingrained in everything we do, to where we have a president that tweets policy, and the easiest way to hear from our president most frequently, unfortunately in some ways, is Twitter. So let's just be mindful that we got a president tweeting, when the looting starts, that's when the shooting starts. So he's referring to the riots and the looting that happens in these riots. And I don't condone none of that, but you gotta also try to put yourself in understanding the full dynamics and critically thinking and being unbiased about the way we judge and look at these circumstances. But for someone to simplify it and make it from that level in that position and speak on Twitter that when the looting starts, the shooting starts, you're asking for problems, you're invoking issues. So For me, that's just one of those things. We got to be mindful of why we are in the situation we are as a country, and how we lead, and what we say, and how we say, and how what we say is received. And if it is received differently, then speak on it. That's okay. You know, we're all different. We all have the right to be wrong, and that includes me. So that's why we have these conversations. That's why we talk about some of these things, just at deeper levels, just to speak on the things that we enjoy, that we like, that plays to our mind. You know, so hopefully you enjoyed it. We got plenty more songs to go through. You know, we'll be back. We'll run these time and time again, and we'll go through it, and we'll see how it goes. So you can follow us on Africans United on Instagram, Twitter. Haven't done much with them there. We're just getting that set up and rolling as far as the business pursuit, the dreams and goals, the things that I'm personally trying to achieve with these things. So I've got the Africans United tag working on all the social medias. We're presenting this on HCN Heroes Cable Network. Again, I'm Brandon Tomaclo. You can find me on Facebook, and we're gonna, you know, keep working these things and talking about different music and vibes. We're gonna keep it positive, and we're gonna keep it pushing, learning, and understanding. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll be back with you next time. Peace.
Searching for equal rights inside this racist land. And all started when Columbus docked here to take the land. With the spirits of the Haitians, we take the power of the land back. This 40 got so much power, man, I think you should stand back. Every time we dig our way out, we sinking like a sand trap. We need more than reparations, man, why can't you understand that? We spell America with 3 Ks. We'll show you mass hysteria like loading up 3 Ks.
Spell America with 3 Ks.
On CNN for the past 3 days. That's for every time we see that murder on media replays. Our president tweeted and said, when the loot is